Good morning. Happy Thursday. Happy new moon. I have your energy update for Thursday, July 24th, and this is good information, so stick around. Hi, my name is Paula Taylor. I'm a sound and energy activator, intuitive reader and channeler, body worker, and fearless alchemist, and I coach people on the path to spiritual awakening. So about a week ago or so, I started getting this information from my guides, and they were saying that I needed to go back and listen to some early episodes of the podcast I did, like at the beginning of this year. And I was like, well, which one, where should I start? And they're like, you'll know when you see it. So go back and listen to bonus episode. I think it says new moon / 5D timeline card pull. It was released on February 1st. You can find the podcast anywhere you get your podcasts. So I went back and I started listening to this, not knowing, remembering at all what I said, however many months ago that was. And then as I was listening to it, I started getting some information. So essentially, we have been in a timeline loop since the beginning of this year. And all of the things that I was saying at that new moon kind of apply to this new moon, because we're essentially back where we started in some ways and like way further advanced in other ways. So stick with me here. Essentially, we have been repeating a similar loop since February in order to take the time to wake more people up. And for those of us who are already on the awakening path, to make these huge strides. We've had huge growth this year, those of us who've been awakening and doing the work around this. So now we're back at this like point where we were in February, where it's kind of like we're at this tipping point. And there's a collective shift that really wants to come in. And what I had said in February was, like, if we can just get enough people, like, into the awakening journey, we'll be able to kind of tip things over, and humanity-wide, we're really going to have this opportunity to expand in a way that we never have before. And so what happened was we have been presented with repeated opportunities to either begin to awaken or deepen our awakening journey. Since then, every moon cycle, this is why the energy has been so intense and so sometimes overwhelming and so sometimes chaotic feeling. It's because it's like you were trying to wake someone from a sleep, and it makes me think of like old cartoons or old TV shows where you kind of like gently say that, you know, hey, wake up, and they don't wake up, and they're like, hey, wake up, and then pretty soon you have to like dump a bucket of cold water over their head. That's essentially what's been happening, especially for the unawakened collective, in order to get more people to awaken. And we've seen this happen. We've seen these timeline convergences. I've had people who are like, I've never seen you before. Here you are. Maybe that was an algorithm thing. And maybe that was like a timeline thing where you made it into a space where now you're seeing content around awakening because you're actually ready to do the work of awakening. This is good news. It feels a little bit weird. It's also like explains a lot of like why the energy's been so weird this year, because the universe was like, hey, wake up. And we were like, a lot of us were like, hey, I am. And then the universe was like, you're leading the way. Great. And then there was a lot of people who were still not awake at all. And then it was like, hey, wake up. And then a few more people woke up, and like the rest of us were still like, whoa, this is intense. And then pretty soon the universe was like dumping a bucket of cold water over our heads to try to get these really staunchly unawakened, like committed to the density people to just lighten up a little bit. And so what's happening now, what like the information that was just coming into me this morning is like, there are still some people who are not waking up, and that's okay. What we really needed, we needed more people to awaken, and that has absolutely happened. And we needed some of these like really unawakened people to at least release some of the density that they were holding, because we are on a collective timeline. And so as long as we're on this timeline together, the density still affects us, even if we are mostly in this expanded kind of 5D consciousness of living with more love and more inclusivity and more expansion and clarity and harmony. All of that, we are still tied to the collective timeline, and we're still sharing the same physical reality. So essentially the universe has been kind of like ramping up its efforts to wake people up, to kind of jolt people out of their slumber. And we're back now where we were at the beginning of the year, where we're like at the edge of this really amazing tipping point. And if enough people can like come forward into this work, which I believe now they have, like something really monumental is about to happen. And everybody's saying that. People are saying it in all different ways and around different kind of like world events. But collectively, I think those of us who are sensitive to energy are feeling like we're on the edge. We're on the precipice of like this huge shift. And don't get caught up in this, like, oh my gosh, we've been repeating this loop, because I had like some of those thoughts. And then it was like, then I thought about, I'm a completely different person than I was in February. I'm a completely different person than I was last week, for the love of God. Like, this is how the intensity of this energy is serving those of us who are awakened, who are doing the journey of awakening, who are like on the path, doing the difficult work, doing the excavation, doing the shadow work, doing the release, holding the space for ourselves, for other people. We have been presented with an opportunity to grow like I have never seen before. I've been doing this professionally for over 20 years. In the past 3 years, I have grown more than I have in that time. In this year, I have grown more than I have over the past 3 years. So there's an acceleration of growth here that is still serving you, even if you are in this awakened kind of collective or doing this work of helping other people awaken. What the intensity is doing for the unawakened or the newly awakened is really like spurring them into action. I saw this video yesterday, and I'll see, maybe I can repost it. And the guy was saying, the millennial midlife crisis is spiritual awakening. Like, the boomers went out and they bought a sports car. And the millennial like midlife crisis is like, we are going to awaken spiritually. We are going to dismantle the patriarchy, and we're going to build a better system. And like, my whole body has chills as I'm saying that. So if you're watching me, you're probably like somewhere in that range of like millennial to elder millennial to Gen X. And if you're in a surrounding category, welcome. Everyone is welcome here. And those of us in that category are the ones doing the heavy lifting. The awakened boomers who have come before us and who are still there, the old hippies, as my mentor used to call herself, they were paving the way. We're always paving the way for the next generation. I have goosebumps on my whole body while I'm saying this. But those of us who are in that space right now, it is true. We are having a midlife crisis, not just of like our generation, but of humanity itself. Who do we want to be? How do we want to show up in the world? How do we want to support each other? Do we want to stop infighting and like step into a true inclusivity, into a true 5D consciousness, which is unconditional love, which is that everyone is valuable and everyone is worthy, no matter who they are, no matter what they're doing, no matter what they look like. This is where we are going. And we are at the precipice of like another big leap forward in that. So if you've been frustrated and wondering why everything is the way it is this year, like I tell you, like, there's a lot of relief in being like, oh, okay, so we've been in a time loop, like trying to wake people up. And now this is the opportunity to step into what's next for you personally, for us collectively. And that is why the activations that have been coming through have been so strong. And they're like, shut up and channel. So I'm going to shut up and channel. If you don't do this while you're driving, put a hand or two on your heart, close your eyes if that's comfortable or helpful for you. Please put something in the comments saying you consent if you want to really receive the full power of this energy. There's a lot of activation energy here. Kwe ana ka ia taka ia na ko taka ai ana ki te ataka ana ki te ku u taka ia na ka ani taka ia na ko taka ia te ki te kwe ana ka ia te ki te ku ana ka ia te ki te ke ana ka ia te ki te ka kwash ana ki te ka ai ana ki u ana ka ia te ka ana ki te ke te ka ana ki te ke ana ka i te ka te ki te ka shwe ana sa shi ana ana ai ana ki ana ku ana ka ia te ki ana ka ke ana ka shi ana ka te ki te ke ana ka ia te ki ana ka te ke te ka ana ke te ki te ka Uyama iya iyama Uyama ya iyam Iyama 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 You are so loved. You are so supported in this process. Wherever you are doing it. You are making it happen. We are changing the world together. Have a beautiful day.